Hi everyone, it's Gerriann with scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com, and tonight we are going to make 12 cards out of random stamped paper, as well as sentiments. We're making Valentine's and a cute little box. You can go over to my blog at scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com and look for the February 10th, 2014 cutting guides, and that is where you'll find the cutting guides for this project. The other thing that I need you to share with you is that all of these cards are created using the Make It From Your Heart Volume 2 from Close to My Heart, and you can purchase this book for $7.95 over on my website, which is gerriannarmstrong.ctmh.com. And for those of you in the chat, I'm going to give you a link. The book itself is really very inexpensive. The thing is I was able to do the cutting guides by using that, but I am a little more, if I were doing a class in my home, I could definitely do all of these on my own, and everybody would see the project, and you would make your cards and go home and do them. Doing this on a live stream, I am running into feeling a little guilty about copyright kind of things. So there's the link for my website. It is the Make It From Your Heart Volume 2. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to cut all of the paper. I'm going to record that whole entire piece so that you can see how that works. I am going to stop the recording at the end of the cutting guides, and then what I will do is start the recording yet again and make it a private recording for those of people who have purchased the book. I will finish all of the cards tonight, so those of you who are with me will get to see what each and every card looks like. You can take notes, you can do whatever you need to, or you can purchase the book, and it will also have all of the card styles and the measurements and whatever is needed at that point. So that makes me feel a little better about the copyrighted material that I'm sharing and making a recording about this evening. I hope you guys understand that. Like I said, I'll go through each of the cards. You will see, if you are here tonight, see all of that. I will also record it for those people who purchased the Make It From Your Heart Volume 2. From me. You will then have access to the videos. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. These are, and I have prizes tonight too, guys, so that's even better. Alright, so we are going to use at least 5 sheets of cardstock tonight, and in those you will need let's get to the beginning part. You will need a piece of cardstock that you are able to random stamp on. So this is the random stamping cutting guide, and I am choosing this light patterned paper at this point in time in order to use. So I'm going to random stamp on these pages, and then we'll cut it out using our cutting guide. This paper is from Echo Park, and it is the For the Record collection that I'm using. You will need a piece of light cream or white or really light colored cardstock for your focal images and sentiments. And this is the cutting guide that goes with that piece. Did I lose all of you? I I will be, you can send me a private message and we'll chat, because I do want people to have access to it, especially if you already own the material. Okay? Alright. The next piece we're going to use, again, which is from For the Record, is this black, and it's a polka dot piece, and you guys can't really see that very well. But this is going to be cardstock number 3. If you have the book, you don't need access, I don't think. But we'll talk. This is cardstock page number 1, and it has got like a pattern print. I think you'll be able to use it with your book. You'll be able to easy do it. So as long as you stay most of the time, but we'll talk. And then this is for cardstock number 2. Okay? No, it's not raining. Can you guys hear my husband's lathe going really well? The only other thing that you will probably end up dealing with is my fan. Alright, so these are the stamps that I'm planning on using this evening for sentiments and things like that. So I have 6 Studio G's that are Valentine's related. And the ideal situation is that you guys should be getting these out of your stash. It sounds like it's raining. I wonder if that's the fan. Is that usually what the fan sounds like, guys? I'm going to use, I hope to use this Prima doll called Mercy. And then I have this cute little owl set. I'm going to use the Dotted Love Occasion set, which is M1026 out of the Close to My Heart catalog. I'm going to be using a retired ink, which is Ruby Z2170, and you can actually use cranberry if you'd like. I'm going to be using a drying fast VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I'm going to be using Barn Red Z2104, and I am also using Cashmere, which is Z2175. And as you can see, I've already put my stamps on my blocks, and I've put them in there because I'm going to random stamp. And so we're going to go ahead and do that part first. Okay? Can somebody make sure to send out a tweet that I am on? Because I know that there were some ladies who were like, oh, I missed that. I do have 4 stamps to give out tonight. I have this one, which says I love you. I have this one with the lips, which is really cute. I have kind of a flower, and I also have a heart set. So we've got 4 sets to give out tonight. And I'll get those in the mail this week to those who win. Alright, so shall we get started? Let's do our random stamping first of our pages. Then we're going to go ahead and cut our pieces. We're going to make our box. And then I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll restart it at that point. Okay? Alright. I took care of it. I hit a tweet, so I'm okay too. Okay. Awesome. So as you can see, what I have with clear stamps, sometimes because they don't have that rubber backing, you really need something. I have a piece of fun foam that is underneath my workstation for tonight. And that, so I am just slipping that underneath. The other thing that I encourage you guys to do is take your card bases and your envelopes, flip the card, the envelope flap inside, put your card base in it, and take a little sticky note and add a flag. So this one says 19. That's going to go with the card 19 from the book. Okay, so as we're cutting everything, inking all the edges, and sorting, We can stick them right in there and you won't lose anything. All right. Okay, guys. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to go ahead and random stamp. And I'm using this, this paper here. Yeah, it does take you to the book. All right, and we'll end up cutting that piece into those pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. I'm gonna set this aside, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and random stamp this. Now, I'm leaving my zip strip on it for right now, just because I'm going to stamp off the sides and the edges and things. So what I'm going to start with first is the Studio G set, and this has the lips. Let's see, this one has these images on it. Okay, and I'm stamping these images, random stamping everywhere on my thing, off the page, around the corners, and everything in Ruby ink. So you're just going to fill this up. And what I do is I normally just turn my paper a few times. I'm not being perfect with all of the inking and the stamping. I'm going to distress most of my edges with black. Alright, so we're going to set this one aside for a few minutes. The next one I'm going to take is my cashmere, which is a light brown that goes pretty closely in with this as well. You can get these inks over on my website. Not that I want to be a commercial. And basically I am just going to stamp these puppies around. Make sure you're stamping off the paper. You can stamp right over the other images. Thank you. You will definitely need the cutting guides. That way you can get all of your cuts out of paper. The other cool thing is that these have such small cuts. They are perfect for all those extra scraps. It is not a button, Martha. Alright, one or two more. Alright, now I'm going to take my barn red, so you guys can see some of the brown. That brown looks really good in there. It's really light on my paper, but it shows up really well. So now I'm using my barn red, and I'm going right over the top and just adding this in multiple places where there's a lot of the brown coming through from the underside of the paper. And since they're all colored, yep, I'm just using right over the top. You didn't have to do this step, but I wanted to show you guys how to make your own paper. You don't have to have a specialty piece of paper. You can doctor up any of the good old stuff that you want. You can take regular plain good old cardstock, doctor it up as well. We're just kind of messing up the paper a little bit. Make sure you're stamping off the edges, you're turning your stamp around so that all of your images aren't going the same way. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to add my black in here. And what I am doing is I am going to take my X's and O's, this stamp right here, and I am going to stamp it in black randomly around my page just to bring that into this. Now, one of the ways to look and see if your project has enough kind of things going on in it, if you've got any holes or spaces, is to look at it cross-eyed. Cross your eyes and look at it and see where you would need an additional stamp or two. So I'm seeing right here that I need something. And something right in here. All right. So now we have totally, yeah, this is one of those ways that you can definitely do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my cutting guide, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece of paper. Now on the back, make sure you have a pencil and write lightly. So we're going to take the zip strip off. We're going to take the cutting guide. Just looks so good. We're going to take our cutting guide. And so the way to read the cutting guides for me is you always start on the left hand side in this corner, and you always cut the across lines first. Okay, so you're going to cut this line first and then this line. And then you'll go back and cut the pieces of these. So if you don't cut the right way, you'll mess it up. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and our first cut, doesn't matter because we random stamp, is going to be at 5.5. We're going to cut into it. Now, one of the things that you can definitely do is if you choose to mark out your pattern on a piece like this, for a first-time person, or if this is something that you think that you're going to use quite often, go ahead and download the pattern and take a couple of old pieces of cardstock and draw it out for yourself. Because what happens is, and what is really nice is I know that I can turn this now. I'm going to put this at 275, and I can lay my pieces right over the top, so that I know when I go back and number them that they're in the right order. Alright, so you're going to cut the first two pieces, then you're going to rotate your paper and cut it 4 inches. Okay, so here we've done the first 2 cuts. Okay, 1, 2. Now I cut this piece. So you're going to rotate your paper and cut at that piece, and we're going to cut these apart. Okay, the upper left hand corner, because I'm right handed, so this is left. Okay, so now we're going to cut this one at 2.5. At 1 inch, at 175, 1 3/4. We're going to cut at 1 3/4 here, and we're going to turn this because this piece needs to be 4 inches long. Okay, so that gives us those pieces. So here's our little extra. And here's this strip here. Okay. You want to save on the extras too, because you may end up using them. Alright, so now we're going to cut these pieces at 1 1/4. And you're going to need 4 of them. And these need to be 1 1/4 square. So you're going to end up having to trim off just a little bit of each and every one of these, because it is 1/4 of an inch too big. This is number 21. The card for number 21 is really an awesome card for all those little itty bitty scraps. Okay. One, two, three, 4. That leaves a little bit here, and then I have these little itty bitty pieces that I cut off. Okay. So the next piece I need to cut is at 4 1/4. And at 3 inches. At 1 1/2. At 2. At 2 1/2. At 1 1/2. And at 1 inch. And this piece needs to be at 4 inches. So I ended up taking 1/4 inch off. Then this piece finishes out at 2 inches, 2 1/4 inches wide, and we're going to cut this one at 4 1/4 inches long. And so we're going to save the extra pieces because we may end up needing them as decorations or that for our next project or for one of the cards. So save your scraps. They'll make a couple of extra cards. Okay, you want to take your pencil and you want to label each of these. This is 30A. This one is 22B. This one is 25A. This one here is 26A. This one is 27B. This is 29B. And this is 24A. This is a scrap piece. This one right here is 28C. Am I yelling at you guys? 21A. 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 Okay. This one is 19A. This one is 23A. This one is 20B. This one is 21C. So make sure you write them where you can see them too. And 28A. Alright? So I can either choose to ink all the edges now, or I can just sort them into my trusty little thing, which is what I'm going to do right now. So this is 30, and I'm just going to slip it in its envelope. This one is 22, and it's going in its envelope. This one is number 25, number 26, number 27, number 29, number 24. Okay. Number 28. These are number 21. This is number 19. This is number 23. This is number 20. Number 28. And number 21. Okay? So now we are ready to go to the next piece, and all of those are in their perspective cards. I'd like to do a shout out to my friend Jonna, Jonna, who did the cutting. She took and used the cutting guides and actually worked the cutting guides, and we ended up with one minor little problem that I was able to fix prior to. Alright, so I'm cutting the border off of this one. Okay, so now why am I doing this? I see this pattern and I want it to go up and down on my card. Okay, but if I were to cut it in half this way, all of my lines then would make this go sideways. So you have to determine on a piece of cardstock like this, how do you want your pieces to go together? The majority of mine I want to go up and down. So I'm going to make my first cut at 5.5. And so I'm cutting my paper because I know that my strips for my cards are going this way and it just looks nicer. Okay, so that was at 5.5. So now we're going to cut at 2. And when I drew my cutting guide, I should have added the 23B in there, which is a 1/2 inch piece. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that right in there because there's a ton of room at the end of the cutting guide. There's all of this space right here, so I can slip this piece technically in one of these pieces as long as I don't cut it. So you can slip this piece right after that first cut. All right, and then we're cutting at 3/4 of an inch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this and we are going to cut at 4 1/4. Okay, so now what you'll see is this piece goes here and this piece goes here. Okay, so what happened was we ended up cutting like this. Okay, now those 4 little squares come out of this one, and then we have some other dimensions to cut out of this one here. So let's go ahead and cut these down. These are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. You need 4 of them. And the rest of this is just extra. They look a little weird, like I didn't get them cut right. But yeah, they're all cut right. It's the pattern. The patterns are deceiving on your eyeballs. Alright, so I need a 1 inch piece. A 1 1/4 inch piece. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces at 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 at 1/2 inch, and then 1 at 1 1/2 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so when you look at all of this, this is where this comes in handy. One, 2, half an inch, 3, 4, this piece is here, and now the only other piece we have is this one here. So we're going to cut this one at 2 3/4. Okay, and that leaves that whole last strip for extra for doing the other pieces that we want to do. Okay, so just like we did before, we're just going to label these 24D, 23C, 25A, and it helps 26C. You can just put them away Like, I know that these go in 21. And the ABCs are according to the, yeah. Well, it's, if you're going to use the pattern a lot, it works really well. 22D, 27A, 27C, 29A, 30B, 20, 28, that's an extra, and then this one is 23B. And you know that these are extra pieces, okay? So we've done the random cutting, the random stamping guide, and cardstock number 2. All right, here is cardstock number 1. Our first cut, again, if we look in the left-hand corner, our first cut is going to be at 4 inches, and then 3.5, and the last piece is going to be 4.5 inches. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut at 4. We're going to rotate our paper and cut at 5.25. We're going to cut at 3.25. And then we are going to cut at, this is 3.5 by 3. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this piece here. Okay? We're going to cut at 3.5. So what do you do, you guys? This will be for my first prize, which I'm going to give away this stamp that says I love you, because this is a Gerriann thing, and the answer is not, it's not a button. The first question is, say I cut this paper wrong. How can I fix it? How can I fix it to make it work for the project? If I cut it, say, instead of cutting it at 3.5, I cut it at 2.5. How can we fix it? The first person who comes up with the way that I normally fix things, because we know I don't throw things out. I have this cute little stamp that says I love you with 2 hearts. No, you don't have a margarita. You're right, Martha, you tape it. With regular good old Scotch tape. You could mat it. But the answer is you tape it. And so this is for Martha. You find a Sharpie to write your name on this thing with. Although I gave all my Sharpies to Harrison. Tape it back together. You're right. That is the answer. You tape the piece back together on the back side and then just recut it. I'm talking to the ladies on my shelf. You gonna say hi to all of them? Yeah, but duct tape is not the way it works. So this is Martha. And Martha, I have your mat. Nope. So this one's going to you, Martha. Yay, I'll be able to get this newspaper out of here. Martha says hi, Harrison. So now we're going to cut this at 2 inches and at 4.5. And at 2.25. See, I almost cut that wrong. It's 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So that's these pieces right here. And then these end up being those 4 little squares. I could have gone with packing tape, because that's what I tend to use, is packing tape. I got more prizes. Because remember, this is use your stash, and this is use your stash and make it work kind of thing. Alright, so that these are extra pieces. Okay? Hi, Donna. Alright, so this piece is 4 1/2 inches wide. So we're just going to take the tail off of it. And this piece gets cut at 3 1/4. And at 2 inches, because I should have put those together. At 2 1/2 inches. Once you play with the cutting guides a little bit, you'll be able to see where they could be improved. And I am not an expert at them, but I did try for you guys. I even got to use the wonderful straight edge my husband gave me years ago in order to draw the very pretty lines. Okay. So again, we're just going to pick these up and put them in our thing. So this is card 22. This is card 26. This is an extra piece. This is card 19. And this is card 25. We're making 12 cards. 23. Kind of a one-sheet wonder kind of thing. 19B. 29D. These are all 21. These are extra. Yeah. 27. Are you gonna feed him? 20. Honey, that might be good. It might be a little annoying later if he doesn't. If you decide to make french fries, I'll take some of those. They're upstairs. 24. This is number 30. And this is an extra piece. So again, you can find the cards. Yep, it's a cute card. It really is a cute card. Alright, you can find the pieces, the cutting guides, over on my blog, including the book that they coincide with. Alright, so this is my black piece. This is made out of cardstock number 3, and it's mostly a solid piece. It's got little polka dots on it, which work well for this little piece. But I encourage you to do a couple of solid pieces. So we're going to cut this one first at 5. And that's the book. Okay. And it retails for like $7.95. It's not a really expensive book. Okay. And now we're going to rotate this and cut at 425, which is 4 1/4. And we've got a 7 3/4, a 1-inch piece, a 1/2 inch piece, a 1-inch piece, And this 1-inch piece is cut down to 2.5 inches. And I have it as a 3/4 by 3/4 square. I'm just cutting a 1-inch square there because really that's a little tiny piece of something to get lost. Alright. Oh, yeah, we're going this way. 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. And out of this piece, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch by 1.5. And then there's a 1/2 inch by 1.25. Yes, it does. And I'll show you guys. You'll get to see everything. And it's got 18 layouts. Many of them, I think 3 of them are 1-page layouts, or 2 or 3 of them are 1 page. The rest are all 2-page layouts. And I'll show you everything. Yeah, it's a really great deal for $8. And now you'll have a cutting guide for all the cards, so you can, you know. Oh, sorry, Donna. So this one goes in 28. These 2 little pieces are in 23. This is 19. This little piece here is 21. This is card number 29. This one is 26, 22, and 28. We have a whole collection of how-to books. Everything from 1-page and 2-page layouts to card books. Yeah. And this month, if you place an order and purchase 2 packages of cardstock, either single color or multiple colors, like the combo packs, as long as you purchase 2 of those, you get one of the free embossing folders that Close to My Heart just came out with. They're really nice. Alright, so this is the focal image piece. Yeah, the card books are amazing. And this is our cream color cardstock that matches with our papers. I only had white bases, so I'm going to show you how to fix that too, which is why we're doing some of the other pieces. Alright, so here is, we're going to cut at 3 inches. We'll move this over here. I feel like you guys are so close to me. There we go. And this one's going to go at 3 1/4 and at 2 inches and at 2 inches and at 1 1/2 and at 2 1/2. And you're left with 3/4 of a piece right here, and we're going to cut this down to 2 1/4. Okay, so now we need to cut at 2 1/2. Oh, I'm sorry. You can wait, it's cool. I'm not a pushy person. I want you to use your stash. Use your stash. Use what you got. Alright, and these are at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So you're going to have to cut these down. Got a little one there. What do you want to mail? You're going to mail a present to Martha?
I want this to mail a newspaper.
Yes, they all do. And I'll show you them.
But Marcia's gonna mail all the ladies a section out of the paper.
She is? Wow. But all of the ladies don't like the sections of the paper.
They don't like the book community review.
Oh. No, we're going to send those all to Martha.
Right. And I put
We're going to do that when we mail her stamp off. She won. All right, I'm doing my class, buddy. No, you can go upstairs. You need to read on your iPad or whatever. You need to get the 10 hours.
Will the month program count?
Huh?
Will the month program with the 2014 community yearbook, the month program count?
Are you reading the articles or just looking at the trucks? You have to read the pages with all the words on it in order to count. You have to read it out loud to Daddy.
Not you.
Well, I'm doing a show right now. Daddy will work on dinner. It's fend for yourself night. It is?
Yeah.
That would be a fun day. Fend for yourself work day. Alright, so these are the pieces that are left over from all of the cuts that we did. So we've got lots to work with. There's lots of stuff that you can do with this here. Alright, let's put these in our trusty little card.
Hey! No, it's hitting me.
Oh. 22, 24, honey, could you get him something to eat? 28, 23, extra, 21, sorry guys, he might be a little crazy. No, it's very snowy here, and they've advised everybody to stay home, so they canceled Cub Scouts tonight. Normally there would be, but right now, tonight, it's really icky, and unfortunately he's now hungry and is a little out of it, and he wants my attention, and so he's going to start stomping on the floor upstairs, and you guys are going to get to hear that. But that, you guys all know who've been around that Harrison is a child with autism, and we don't let him get away with that kind of behavior, but it does happen. See, I told you. Alright, so that was the focal images cutting guide. So we have now cut all 5 of our pieces of paper, and it is all in our trusty little box. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do, just so that I get it on this part of the recording, is we're going to go ahead and cut our card box as well. I know. It's pretty amazing, and now I'm good. A little bit, and that, a little bit. Alright, for this next section, we are going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use some paper. I'm not going to random stamp those. So I'm going to use this cute polka dot. So I've got 2 pieces of that. And my first piece, no direction or any of that. Good one, Mickey. Good one. Alright, so this first piece is cut at, our first cut is going to be at 10 inches. So usually this template's made out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So we now have to kind of cut it down. So our box is 10 inches by 8.5. Okay? So see, here's my template. all drawn out, really nice. We lay this over here. This piece all gets cut off. So we're good there. And I just need this ends up over here now in our little pile to add for bits and pieces. You know, I just keep telling everybody that it's Mother Nature watering our lawn. All right. So the next one you need to cut at 7.5. by 11. All right. So again, if we lay it on top of our template, you can see. But I did these out of 8.5 by 11. Okay, so we're just sticking this extra down here. You're gonna need your scoring board. All right, we are going to do the box back, which looks like this. We're going to go ahead and put our paper down. This is the famous box. We're going to score at 1.5 on this side.
Mom, I want to take your job.
You do?
Yes. I want to.
Could you please? And at 6 inches. Please go upstairs.
I want to go to Cub Scouts.
They are not. They are for the record by Echo Park.
By the weather.
You can go look on Facebook under the parent stuff for Pat 479 and see that they canceled. All right. It is cold. All right, so again, we scored at 1.5 and 6 inches, okay? And those score lines are written right on the template. Then we're gonna turn it to the 11-inch side and we're gonna score at 1 3/4. We're gonna score at 3 3/4, 9 3/4, and then the last score, then that kind of leaves it. So that gives you a 6-inch berth here. So this should be 6 inches. Okay. So that one's scored. And then again, buddy, go, out. Go on. Go on. Dave, call the dog. All right, so on the 10-inch side, sorry guys, on the 10-inch side, we're scoring at 3/4. We're scoring at 2 3/4. We're scoring at 7 1/4. And we're scoring at 9 1/4. And these measurements are written right on the template from my blog, guys. And we're going to turn it to the 8.5-inch side. And we're going to score at 1 and at 7. Okay? So that gives us all the score marks. Any questions? Oh, Martha, you're just mean. Honestly, I'm not really all that, it's not all that horrible. He's just being 11 with an attitude. He's gonna go to bed early tonight. Alright, so when you're looking at the template, what we did is we scored all the lines. All of the solid lines Wow. All of the solid lines are the cut lines in this. So basically, you're going to cut off this end piece and you're going to angle it. Okay? I'm going to cut out the score line here. So you've got kind of a little, okay. Oh. Alright, and we're going to cut out the score line again here. Can't use the scissors. They're great for little cutting, but really for anything like this, I really want my sharp microtip scissors. Alright, and we're going to cut on the side and up. Okay, so that takes care of our bottom. So if you line it up on our template, you now see white marks or black marks. You can kind of see where I took out the edges. We're going to cut off this piece here. So you're cutting on the solid lines, not on the broken lines. I'm sure somebody had to go to the bathroom. Alright, so here is our piece. Fits perfectly in there. I'm going to take those little pieces and chuck them. Okay, with our second one, we're going to do exactly the same thing. This piece right here should be all the way out, guys. This piece right here. Okay? Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a really rough age, Martha. I lost my mom at the same age. It was not easy. So we're going to go ahead and cut out, grab the scissors again, our corners. Okay, and then we're going to cut the sides all off. Did you find something for him to eat? Oh, okay. There's an Easy Mac up there too, which is easy. Yeah. I don't remember when I made that tuna casserole though. Okay. Alright, so your piece should look like this when it's done. This is the back of the box. Oh. Alright, so what I want to do next is I'm going to use my punch and I'm going to punch a border along this 1-inch edge up here at the top. I'm improving on our box, Martha. Now it's going to have decoration. Christine won't know what to do with herself. Hi, Fairy Floss. Oh, good. Alright. So now the trick is we want to score all of our edges. It's the famous box. You called it such mean, nasty names. Can't help that that's where the inspiration came from. I did this back 18 months ago, and everybody was so excited about the box until I showed them the inspiration piece. And then they were all like, ew, ew, it's like I made a box. It's not like we used that box. Because really, anything coming out of my bathroom never gets used. No way. Not happening. I live with stinky boys. No toilet tissue roll minis either. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and score on all of our lines. That's exactly where it came from. The famous box. Alright, so the top edge that we punched comes down. See, it's even floral. Okay, so this all gets scored, flattened out and down. Now we have our back piece. We're going to go ahead and score, score. Oh crap. Well, we're going to make some hinges. I forgot to leave the pieces in the sides. I forgot to leave the pieces on the side. So, you know what? We're going to fix that with our packing tape. Because we can. Alright. First of all, though, we're going to find our score tape. And we're going to run score tape. Yeah, it's the T-box. Yep, easy fix. I cut the tabs off, you guys. Don't do that on your box. What? Alright. And then we're going to line up the bottom score mark and butt it right up against our piece. So our polka dots don't fit all that perfect. But who's going to look at the back of the box? Harrison, did you hear that I was doing a show? So what are you doing? You need to read or you're not going to get a free ticket to Silverwood. You want to go on a field trip with what? You're in 5th grade. Goodness, don't rush it. You're going on a field trip anyway. You're going with Nicole to the Mighty Pirates game. The opposing team side. Who knows? Alright guys, so now we're going to use our tape and fix this. So what we're going to do, we're going to be gentle. Actually, we're going to cut off a little bit of tape. We're going to have our piece of meat and make a corner. Voila! And then we can fix that edge by some cute little ribbon. Or some washi tape. Oh, I've got some cute washi tape. Harrison, please go bother Daddy. I know you're trying to bother me. I'm teaching a class. Harrison, we'd get stuck in a snowstorm. I think it is. So there's our cute little box. And I'm going to go ahead and decorate it up with a piece of ribbon. So what we're going to do is we're going to run some score tape around this puppy. Are you giggling because my kid just said he'd rather talk to me? Or about the puppies? This is cute Minnie Mouse paper too for all of you guys who like Minnie Mouse. I'm gonna find some chipboard heart or something. Oh! Sorry about that, guys. I have to go check that out. I'll be right back. I think my husband's got it. Oh, you know what? How about we stamp these cute little owls and put them on the front? We can color them. Yep. He's just bouncing because he really wants me to interact with him. You guys are just getting a good taste of Harrison in his glory tonight. Alright, so here is the box. This is how it goes together. All of the cards will fit into it. You can decorate it up any other way that you want. And it works really, really cute. We'll probably fit it up and do a couple of other little things as we finish up the cards. So, do you guys have any questions about the cutting guide, to how to cut guides for the cards or anything before I stop the recording to hit the other, to be able to do another recording for those who are purchasing the book. I'm going to walk you through each and every one of the cards. However, I feel very strongly about, you know, I've given you the dimensions to the cards and things like that. Doing the recording, it is a copyrighted material. I'm just really kind of a little leery. So if you purchase the book, I'll be more than happy to give you access to a private recording that'll walk you through each and every one of those. We'll take a break for just a minute so you guys can grab a pad and a pencil and a piece of paper, and that you can always sketch out what the cards look like. You can do all kinds of different things. However, I'm going to make the other recording private for kind of customers, because I feel it's what's right. All right? Yeah, this is the cute little famous box. It is a really cute, it's really nice. It's a nice little gift. You can use these 12 cards and make a bunch of all occasions cards or some birthday cards or any of that kind of stuff. So it is a really great one, and you can find this again over on my blog at www.scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com. All right. Look forward to seeing you guys. If you want to purchase the book called Make It From the Heart Volume 2, its item number is the item number for the book is, oh, where is it? Oh, it's on page 141 of the catalog. It is $7.95. Its item number is 9042. They are all standard size cards. There are the other scrapbook and card books that are available as well. They come really nice. This is what I'm feeling like is my commercial for life at this point. This is the Originals book. It is a card book. It is $14.95, comes spiral bound. You might be able to find them out there in the community a little bit hardbound, page 141. And the cool part about this book is it has tons and tons of cards. It gives you the cutting guide and the placement guide for each of the pieces. It tells you what cards to cut. These are some of my favorite cards. You can see I have the little tabby things in them. All full color photos. And it also says, so like say we love the card on, well, here are all the card pages for this book. This is the Originals program. So you have 2.5 by 3.5 inch cards. You have 3 by 3 cards, 4 3/4 by 3, 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then you have 5 by 7, 6 by 6, 3.5 by 8, and 8 by 3.5. And say you absolutely loved the card on this page right here. You just absolutely love that card. Well, you can go and find the pattern on page 73 of this book. And when you get to page 73, it's going to show you the pieces for this card. And it's going to tell you that there's a matching card on page 72. Okay? But there's a couple of them that have multiple. Okay, so like these cards that you're here on pages 100 and 101, it tells you where to find them in the book and where else to see more cards. So this book is really, really a very nice book, and it is $14.95. But in order to get a feel for it and not feel like you have to spend a lot of money, because these are been around for a while, these little Make It From Your Hearts, there's 2 of them. There's volume 1 and volume 2. They're $7.95. When you open them up, they give you, this one has 18 different layouts, which is 16 2-page and 2 1-page and 12 cards. So it gives you a real good idea of what's happening. Again, page layout, and it tells you how many how many photos. Like layout number 1, you could get 10 photos on this layout if you wanted to. And so then what happens is, here's layout number 1. Here's the cutting guides for layout number 1. And this is the picture placement and all of the placement for the cardstock. They also give you really good little ideas on embellishing pages and things like that. So a lot of you were around this morning when I did my class on, well, I did the baby album. I tend to use these books a lot as a jump off point for the different pages and that. So this again is Make It From Your Heart. You can purchase it over on my website at gerriannarmstrong.ctmh.com, or you can go over to my blog at scrapandstampcreations.blogspot.com and follow the links. So that's really a cool project at that point. I love my images book. I use it a lot. Alright, so I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for joining us. And for those of you who are interested, you can give me an email and we'll get you settled.